Natalia. Welcome to my sewing tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make my new summer hat pattern, the Wide Brim Sun Visor. This visor comes in two versions, a wide brim and a narrow brim. For this tutorial, I made the wide brim version, so you can clearly see the full shape of the visor. The back also has an opening, similar to a baseball cap, which makes it easy to wear your hair in a ponytail. Choose the version that works best for you. Materials. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. For this visor, you can use a variety of fabrics, such as cotton twill, lightweight denim, or lightweight canvas. To give the visor enough structure, we'll also need three types of interfacing. Woven fusible interfacing, non-woven fusible interfacing, and heavyweight fusible interfacing. Cutting the pattern. Print the pattern at 100% scale without changing your printer settings. Check the test square. It should measure 2 by 2 inches or 5 by 5 centimeters. Place the pattern pieces along the grain line. Attaching the visor. To make the visor firm and structured, we'll use all three types of interfacing: woven fusible interfacing, non-woven fusible interfacing, and heavyweight fusible interfacing. Place the pattern piece over the heavyweight fusible interfacing. You can see the outline of the pattern through the interfacing. Trace the visor pattern without seam allowance. Now we have 3 interfacing pieces ready. First, fuse the woven fusible interfacing to the wrong side of the fabric. Then fuse the non-woven fusible interfacing in the same way. Finally, place the heavyweight fusible interfacing in the center. Because we cut it without seam allowance, it should look like this. This step is important to secure the heavyweight fusible interfacing to the other layer, otherwise it may come off. Let me show you what happens if you fuse the heavyweight fusible interfacing directly onto the fabric. This holds very firmly. Each type of interfacing has its own recommended fusing time. But this piece comes off immediately, even when using different temperatures. Before starting, test the fusing time and temperature for each type of interfacing on a scrap of your fabric. Place the two visor pieces right sides together. Stitch 1 to 2 millimeters or 1/16 to 3/32 of an inch from the edge of the heavyweight fusible interfacing, like this. Trim one seam allowance to 2 to 3 millimeters or 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch from the main stitching line. Clip the seam allowance all the way around. Be careful not to cut through the main seam. Turn the visor right side out and press it. Add decorative top stitching 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Space the rows evenly. I made 3 rows. Mark the center of the visor. Making the front band. Trace the pattern onto the heavyweight fusible interfacing without seam allowance. We have 2 fabric pieces and 2 types of interfacing: heavyweight fusible interfacing and non-woven fusible interfacing. Fuse them using the same method. First, fuse the non-woven fusible interfacing. Then, place the heavyweight fusible interfacing in the center and fuse it. The other fabric piece does not need interfacing. My husband made this little pressing tool for me instead of a professional one. He simply attached a cabinet door handle to a wooden board. Now I use it for pressing seams. What do you think of this little invention? Let me know in the comments. Or maybe you think the board turned out a little too wide. Find the center of the piece. Take the visor and match the center marks. There are small numbered markings on the pattern pieces. Make sure the heavyweight fusible interfacing is on the same side of both pieces. Pin the pieces together. To help you identify the top and bottom, clip the seam allowance all the way around. Be careful not to cut through the main seam. Joining the side part and back band. Take the two pieces and match the centers first. Then pin them together along the entire length. The pattern pieces have markings to help you identify the top and bottom. Use bias binding to finish the seams. I'm using a light colored binding so everything is easier to see. I'm going to trim the seam allowance slightly for a neater finish. Make small clips along the seam allowance. Be careful not to cut through the main seam. Stitch the bias binding to the seam allowance, close to the main seam. fold the binding over the seam allowance to cover the raw edge completely. Stitch it in place. This is what it looks like from the wrong side. Now, finish the upper seam with bias binding. The seam and the top of the visor are now neatly finished. Open everything out and press the seams. Assembling the main body. First, find the center. Match the centers of the two hat pieces. Pin the center first. Then pin along the sides. Distribute the fabric evenly. Stitch from the side with the heavyweight fusible interfacing. Keep the stitching 1 to 2 millimeters or 1/16 to 3/32 of an inch from the edge of the interfacing. Clip the seam allowance all the way around. Adding Velcro. Stitch a rectangle using the seam allowance as a guide. Place the seam at the center. Press the seam allowances in opposite directions. Stitch along the top using the seam allowance as a guide. Trim the corners. Be careful not to cut through the main stitching line. Turn the piece right side out and press it. Sew the Velcro in place. Fold the side seam to find the correct center position for the Velcro. Make sure the two Velcro pieces are positioned correctly so they close properly. Making the placket. Take the front band piece and mark the center. Match the center first, then pin along the entire length. Pin all the way to the end. It can be a little tricky because the visor has curved sections. Stitch 1 to 2 millimeters or 1/16 to 3/32 of an inch from the edge of the heavyweight fusible interfacing. Fold the seam allowances to the inside. Stitch along both sides. Clip the seam allowance all the way around. Trim the corners carefully. Do not cut through the main seam. I recommend hand basting the seam closest to the visor first. This will help keep everything straight and even. Then baste the open seam at the seam allowance. Start from the center and work toward one side. Then repeat from the center toward the other side. This helps distribute the fabric evenly. All final top stitching should be done from the right side of the visor. Our wide brim sun visor is ready. I hope this tutorial brings you joy and inspiration for your next sewing project. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. Thank you for watching.